something called digital turnaround management. And people like Nilesh Bhai or Sanjay Bhai, people who are of my age or senior to me know that there were times where, many choices were not there. People were not, getting what they wanted, and whatever was available in the market, which was just people have to buy in whatever price. I remember my father paid full amount. I don't remember how much it is, about 6,000-7,000 rupees in 1979 to get a Bajaj Chetak scooter, and they said that you will get your scooter after 3 years. I don't know anyone would today would like to wait even for any of the product for so long. So in the last, I would say 20-25 years, from 1995, I would say onwards, as 91, India went to liberalization policy, and it took 3-4 years for us to take advantage of it. This 25 years, the first turnaround happened is basically the market turned around. From seller's market, it has become buyer's market. Like today I have a choice. I can go to a company like TVS or Hero Honda or Hero and negotiate price with them. I can tell them I want to buy three bikes and give me what are the kind of discount you are going to give me. So an individual is capable of now negotiating with a big corporate like that. So that's the first turnaround happened, I would say, in the last 20-25 years. But I think there's a bigger turnaround happened thanks to, you say thanks or you curse COVID. The bigger turnaround is digital turnaround. I'm sure many of you know the Zoom app was founded some 7-8 years back. But I think in India, we started using only in the last 6 months. And that too, people are able to use so comfortably. And I see people, even farmers, they attend programs without any problem. So the second biggest turnaround happened now is the digital turnaround. So people are completely getting into digital. If you are in business or even if you are working somewhere, if you are not digitally updated, if you are not digitally available, you are going to be out of business. So that's the preamble I wanted to give. Nilesh bhai, how much time I have?
30 minutes.
30 minutes, okay. So maybe accordingly, I will skip some of the slides and I can share this with you later so you can forward it to them.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't want to speak about myself. Already Kinjal introduced me. Okay, let's understand what is digitization and digitalization. The digitization happened about 15 years back, where all documents were, converted into digital. So basically, digitization is a process of converting information into digital format. But digitalizing has increased the efficiency of our processes. Digitalization means that business now uses technology to engage with people to precisely address their particular needs. I don't know if anyone is there from real estate business. We have done one project with a real estate company where they were making villas in a very posh area, where today the technology is available to that extent that you can decide. So we want to reach people who are living in apartments, which is costing, let's say, 1 crore plus. In these areas, in these cities, that's a level at which you can actually focusedly market today. So we could actually, we spent, I think, a couple of lakhs on preparing that. And in no time, can you believe, each villa costing about 8.5 crores. And they were able to sell 89 villas within 3 months' time, just by spending 2 to 3 lakhs in digital marketing. So that is a level at which today technology is available. I can actually make an ad which will directly reach, Nilesh Bhai and his friends. So that is a kind of, digitalization is happening. That's a kind of accuracy you can look at it. Digital transformation is a change associated with digital technology application and integration into all aspects of human life and society. It's a move from the physical to digital. You can check that. You go to Google and search for something. For example, search for, let's say, idli. Okay. And for a few seconds you search and then you close it. Then when you go to your Facebook, when you go to your, let's say, Instagram, or when you go to your Twitter kind of things, you will actually get information related to that. how that happens. You just search for a few seconds of a particular item, and that is so interlinked, people know, okay, somebody is searching like this. So he needs to be given all those information. So today, once again, like 1970s and 80s, people are now driven by sellers on exactly what they want you to buy from. So that is the level at which today digital technology can help you to get into your business. And now digital transformation, if you look at, is a process of using digital technologies to create new or modify existing business processes, the culture, the customer experience to meet changing business and market requirements. It actually transcends traditional roles like sales, marketing, and customer service. Today, actually, this all can be done, sales, marketing, customer service can be done sitting at one place. Somebody sitting in Philippines can give, all this service without being physically there in Turkey. So that is a level at which this transformation happened. So if you are going to look at, following the traditional way of doing business, it is going to be a problem. And as I said, this is not the first time in history that innovation and technology have fundamentally changed the way we live and work. I think, people above 50 years of age can say, every 10 years we see completely a different approach to business, completely different approach to life. Maybe 10 years back, none of us were having a smartphone, let's say 10, 12 years back. People did not even know there's something called smartphone. But today, I see anyone, even a contract labor working in the company has a smartphone. He has got access to YouTube. He has got access to all those technologies, and he is able to give you all the information on time. So this was unimaginable 30 years back. I used to tell people, I'm talking about mid-90s when I was in Gujarat, I used to tell people, there is a phone available where, you can keep it in your pocket, and, you can, wherever you go, you can walk and speak. People are literally laughing at me. That's not possible. But when cell phone came, introduced in Gujarat, I have seen people talking, when the headset concept happened, a girl was talking on the headset, somebody was making a comment, लगता है, बहरी है, but बेचारी पागल भी लगता है, अपने आप बात कर रही है, that is how the understanding of technology was. But within a year, everyone was having a mobile. Probably I was a first or second one in our chapter to buy a mobile, probably the first one. So no one was believing it. Everyone was taking from me and making a call to check whether what I'm having is a real cell phone. But within 6 months, everyone was having it. So that is a level at which the customer adaptability is there. What I'm trying to say is, we took almost 700 years to adopt green revolution. Started using urea, all those things, India took 700 years to adopt that. But at the same time, we took 200 years to adopt industry revolution. But cell phone revolution probably, within 1 year, we adopted. Today, everything is concurrent. Everything happens at the same time. Whatever advancement happens in US, it is happening in India also. So if we are continuously not updated ourselves and not got into this kind of digital world, that's going to be a big issue. And you will not even realize suddenly somebody will overtake and go, and you'll be left behind. I will not explain much in this. In the first industry revolution, if you look at, happened in 1784. First mechanical loom started. Then, let's say, start of 20th century, the mass production system started. Mostly 1969, the first IT revolution started. And 2010 is what is industrial revolution based on cyber physical protection systems. But I would say now industry 5.0 is already there. That's what I would say. Though they are talking about bringing industry 5.0 in 2025. But I think it's, COVID has already brought in industry 5.0, which is going to be digital. Sorry, somebody is saying something?
No, sir, go ahead.
Okay. So if you look at the fourth industry revolution, if you look at, this is how it is. It used to be steam engineering to assembly lines to computers, 1969. Now, if you see the industry 4.0, the revolution itself is huge. People are talking about multi-level customer interaction, big data analytics, smart sensors, 3D printing. I'm sure all of you know now people have started making artificial hearts by using 3D printing technology. Somebody has printed a 2-story building in about 45 days, a 2-story building itself by using 3D printing technology. So that is a level at which technology is going ahead. Authentication and fraud detection, advanced human machine interfaces. Now people are thinking of making instead of me giving command and I should think and the machine should work. So that is the level at which people are working on now. Location detection technologies, which we all use GPS, IoT platforms, Internet of Things platforms, mobile devices, cloud computing, augmented reality, virtual reality. There is so much of technology is just suddenly pumped in, in Industry 4.0. And it's the first time we have been exposed to the change at this scale and speed. As I said, we took 700 years and we took 300 years and 200 years, 50 years, 40 years, and 1 year. Now everything happened just like this. Today, even a lot of traditional rules are changing. If you go to many of the IT companies, they are not even asking for BSc computer science or BTech computer science. They are not even asking for any qualification at all. If you have certification on a technology, the Cisco certification or Facebook certification or a LinkedIn certification, if you have, your educational qualification doesn't matter. People are getting 40,000, 50,000 in 2 years. There is 1 lakh rupees salary and all. I know somebody in Chennai who is 15 years old, is already working and making 1 lakh a month just by doing this certification. So that is a speed at which things are happening. And I'll just keep this. If you see the artificial intelligence, this is a level at which today AI is being used. AI is being used. You name any industry, you cannot escape. You have to, if you are in insurance or if you are like Bhadresh Bhai is a veteran in Amway, even all those businesses have to adopt one of these technologies today if they have to go to the next level. Otherwise, suddenly they will find some Amway will come, they will overtake Amway. It's as simple as that. Like if you can take an example, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, these all three together, whatever was the membership was there, that was achieved by WhatsApp in 2 years' time. Within 2 to 3 years' time, WhatsApp had membership which was more than the total of all the three together. So Facebook was forced to buy WhatsApp, otherwise Facebook will be gone. If WhatsApp would have started something like Facebook, Facebook will be gone. Two people who put some few crores, maybe a few $1 million and ran it for 2-3 years without making any money. If you imagine WhatsApp as no income source, it's only expenses. Despite that, they were able to sell it for $129 billion. Sorry, approximately 130,000 crores of Indian value. WhatsApp was sold to Facebook, where that company did not make any money. Can you imagine a business? You're all in Gujarat. Gujarat is known for industries and business. Can you anytime imagine I will have a business where I will not have any billing, but I'll be able to sell it for a few crores? It was unimaginable. That happened. So the level at which they use AI, the level at which they get into the people's mind, that's what matters. Within 2 years, they were able to overtake all the three together. So that is the speed at which we need to work. And these are all the 20 top transformation technologies, which has come in, like 5G networks, shared mobility. Anyway, now shared mobility is a question mark now, because after COVID, I don't know whether people would like to have shared taxis and all. So advanced plastic recycling, solid state batteries, protein production, commercial vehicle automation, point of view sensing. If there are in many countries, courier services now automated. There is the driverless car goes and couriers deliver the courier. Point of view sensing, 3D printing, energy trading platforms, natural language processing, hydrogen and fuel cells, materials informatics, quantum computing, last mile delivery, blockchain, like somebody was talking about cryptocurrency, battery fast charging, omics, 2D materials, flow batteries, vertical farming. These are all the few which I know. There could be many. So these are all the technologies, suddenly came from anywhere and they're all literally ruling the world. So we need to see either any of these technologies. You need to understand whether these technologies are going to be complementary to us, or these technologies are going to be contradicting to your business. So if it is going to contradict, then find a solution. If it is complementing, immediately adopt. In addition, the speed of transformation is astonishingly fast. In the past, change would take place over years or even decades. Today, the entire industries can be disrupted in just a few months, or I would say in few weeks. Okay, now what is digital disruption? Digital disruption is a change that occurs when new digital technologies and business models affect the value proposition of existing goods and services. If you can take a simple example, if you take a mobile phone, the mobile phone has literally killed telephone market. That is understandable. But mobile phone has killed watch market. Do you know most of the people don't buy watch because they see time in the mobile? Yeah, Nilesh bhai, you want to say something?
No.
Okay. So mobile phone has killed watches. Mobile phone has killed alarm clocks. Even mobile phone has gone to the extent of killing telephone address book. We all used to buy a telephone address book. We used to write name and address and telephone numbers in alphabetically those days. Can you imagine, any printer who prints this and sells these kind of books would ever imagine a mobile company will, kill my business? So that is the kind of, disruption is happening in the market. The mobile has killed Telegram. We used to have something called Telegram. Telegram it has killed. Even it is actually most of the places it is killing computers. You are able to do most of the work what computer does in your mobile. It is even killing email because WhatsApp is faster than email, and you are able to sell much bigger files in WhatsApp. So this is a kind of digital disruption is happening, and it is better you keep yourself always ahead of the competition so that you are the last one to get affected. That is how you should handle a digital disruption. And also, if is digital disruption, whatever is affecting your business, better you adopt that technology and change your business model. So that is how you need to look at it. A value proposition is a statement that answers the why someone should do business with you. So today it is not that people used to say those days it is value for money. That is happening in real terms. Today people are not only talking about value for money. They say it is value for my time also. Money I can still earn, but whatever time I lost is lost. So what value I get from you, that is what is going to help you to get business. If you are going to give the same value what others are going to give, probably then, people have the right to go to others. So it should convince a potential customer why your service or product will be of more value to them than similar offerings from your competition. You cannot say, I'm also doing this. I'm also one among this. You have to say, I'm doing this in this way. No one else is doing it. Like I said, probably we are the only company in the entire country to talk about overall turnaround. There are people who does financial turnaround, HR turnaround, technology turnaround, let's say people turnaround. We are probably the only company who, go to that level, that extent of around 40 companies we turned around till now. 37 we have been successful. So we take over. Right now, I'm sitting in Hubli, Dharwad in Karnataka for Tata Motors. So we are turning around one of the plant of Tata Motors here. So can you believe Tata Motors giving a turning around contract of 3.5 years to somebody like me when they have their own consulting company called Tata Consulting Services, one of the biggest consulting company in the country, but they found more value in our system, better value in our kind of approach than what their own company has. So can you imagine, a Tata company giving consulting to some other company, leaving their own company? So that is a level of disruption can happen today. So how you approach, what kind of digital, advancement you have, it matters a lot. So this is, it's an approach called Earth. It should be easy. Anyone, anytime, anywhere, they should be able to, utilize the services. And the services should be reassuring. And there has to be a trust that, this company can do, or this person can provide much better value to me. And that should be a human approach. Anything you do, that should have human values and human approach. This is what is expectation from today's customers or today's consumers. Okay, how to deal with digital disruption? I can take 10 more minutes, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the first is, the Gartner's A6 model. It says how to deal with any disruption or any big change. 6 choices to deal. First of all, analyze, wait and see. Okay, how before because it is more important to take the right decision than taking faster decision. That is also important. So when you take faster decision, there's a possibility that you might take a wrong decision, which cannot be irreversible sometimes. So first thing is analyze what is happening and how it is going to affect me. Wait and see for some time. Then you attack the disruption. After analyzing it, see how I'm going to attack it so that I am able to create a better disruption than this disruption. Then alternative course. For example, as I said, if this business is gone, for example, somebody who was printing telephone address book, he cannot attack the disruption. So he would start doing something else. He would be printing probably the manual for mobile handsets. That would make more business for him than trying to market his own telephone address book. So that is an alternative course. Or build partnership, create the go with the ecosystem. Okay, this is a change happening. How I can be aligned to them. So how my business can be aligned with them, so that my business continues with this disruption. Then if you have big money, I'm sure most of you have a lot of money. So you buy those disruptive businesses, like Facebook has bought WhatsApp. So they expected there's a big disruption is happening, and this WhatsApp, they analyzed, okay, this WhatsApp, they waited for 4 years. This WhatsApp is growing faster and faster. Despite whatever they did, they also changed a lot of things. They tried to attack the disruption, did not happen. So they started marketing. They started giving marketing facility, free marketing facilities to consumers and all. That's an alternative course to attract the people. It didn't happen. Then they tried to build partnership with WhatsApp. They did not agree. Then they gave a big price and bought them. But the point is, everyone cannot afford to invest that kind of money. But Facebook could do it. Then the best is deny existence and get into some other business. That is actually running away from that. Nothing could happen in this. Then better you leave it and go to any other business or take something else, because emotions are only for your people and your family, not in business. Be very clear, because I have seen many people, they are so emotional. They say, sir, हमारा दादाजी का समय से शुरू किया बिजनेस, इसको कैसे छोड़ सकते हैं हम? ये हमारा दादाजी ने 100 साल पहले मशीन लाके रखा है, इसको हम कैसा बंद कर सकते हैं? Emotions are not with machines and business, please. Emotions are only for people. If the business doesn't support you, please leave and go. Business is not your wife. Business is like a girlfriend, okay? The girlfriend is not, matching with you. Better you find a better girlfriend. It's as simple as that, okay? I will not read it completely. Basically, the same is explained here. I've explained it, so I'll skip this. I will send this PPT to you, Ganesh. You can share it with the people.
Sure, sir. Sure.
So now, how to lead through this disruption? See, change inevitably creates disruption in organization. A good leader, called leader or businessman or a manager, manages this change, bringing order to chaos so that the teams can adopt. Whenever change happens, what happens? Basically, there's a big chaos. Suddenly people look at what the hell is going on here. Suddenly something is very different. So basically, you need to understand what are the chaos and see how to bring into order so that people can adopt. That is what is the first any businessman or leader should look at it. You should communicate a strong vision to your team members. You have to say what is happening in the market and how we are going to handle it and what is going to be your direction of working. Then explain the goals and your plan for success very clearly. Only by giving lip service, it is not going to help. You say this is what is happening, this is our vision, and these are all the goals, and this is how we are going to move. We always say VSMRA, vision, skills, motivation, resources, and action plan. So the vision, only by having great vision is not enough. You talk to any CEO, they have clear vision. Only point is when he turns back and looks at his team, no one seems to be understanding it. The vision has to be very clearly understood by people and the necessary skills and competence to be provided. And people have to be motivated constantly, what we say in Gujarati, Maneshu Malse, Mujhe kya milega? What is in it for me? So that has to be very clearly explained to people so that, they're very clear, okay, I do this, I get this, I do this, I get this. It's not necessarily only in monetary terms, it also can be in responsibility, giving authority, giving positions, and all can be in kind also. So that motivation has to be constantly done. Then you need to provide all the necessary resources. You ask somebody to travel from Baroda to Ahmedabad and you ask him to reach in 3 hours, but you tell him you take a bus and go. So probably it is very difficult for him to reach. So maybe you have to provide a car. So you have to provide right resources. Then there has to be a very clear action plan. If he has to go to from Baroda to Ahmedabad, if he has to go, then he has to go to the highway and take a left and not the right hand. He'll go to Surat faster than going to Baroda, Ahmedabad. So the action plan has to be very clear, saying that this is the direction we are working. These are all the goals, and this is how we will be doing, and these are all the milestones we need to achieve those in such time. So that's the kind of clear articulation has to be done with the people. Then they have to understand. The most important thing is the team. More than the team understanding you, you need to understand your team. It's very, very important, that to understand everyone is not same. I am not as intelligent as Nilesh Bhai. He may understand certain things much better way. So I may not understand those things. I may understand something else in a better way. So you need to have a very clear understanding of your team, and accordingly you need to nurture them, and accordingly you need to make them to understand and buy your ideas. The most important thing is when there is a change and people have been working in a particular style for so long, when there is a change, the most important thing is to make people to accept, yes, there is a change, I need to accept it. So that's a very, very important thing. For that, you need to understand your team better. So each one has to be explained in a proper way and be consistent. You don't change. You don't get afraid because what plan you made is not working the way you want. Keep working on it, be consistent, and ensure the staff is part of the journey. You have to make people to believe and practice that this success journey is, their journey. Actually, you are only leading in the front. So this is the only way today disruption can be controlled or win over. And how to embrace digital disruption? There are three points. Please rethink your role. The first big shift is for leaders to disrupt their roles. Today you are no more a boss. I remember those days. I'm sure somebody in Nilesh will agree. All CEOs used to put a board saying that don't come to me with a problem, come to me with a solution. There were times. Nowadays no one puts that.
Come only with solution.
Come only with solution to me. अगर उसके पास solution होता, तेरा तोपड़ा देखने क्यों आता है वो? He would not like to see your face if he has a solution. Okay. So when problems are there, it is, in my opinion, it's a responsibility of leader to help people to solve the problem. By helping them to solve the problem, you are training them to solve the problem. So many people don't understand. Today, you cannot tell a subordinate, an youngster who passes out of college, tell them this is a problem, you go and solve it. I said, that's not my problem. You tell me how to solve it. So that is a kind of thing. So you have to rethink the role. You have to be a change master, and you have to first practice a change. If you are asking people to come on time, better you come on time first. If you are asking people to, on a particular project, work late for some days, better you work late, be with them and show them that. And if they have a problem, why don't you solve the problem and show it to them? So your role is becoming more of a problem solver, more of a change driver, and more of somebody who can set example and show to them. You have to rethink the role. You are no more a chief executive officer, we call it chief ecosystem officer. That is how you have to consider yourself. And adopt new identities, be a consumer. You have to first put yourself as a customer shoes and understand what my customer would expect or what I would expect as a customer from this particular person. Let's say if I'm coming to Nilesh Bhai to sell something, I need to first of all understand if I am in Nilesh Bhai's shoes, what I would expect Meghanathan to tell me. So first you understand, that's the kind of experience you need to give. First, for that, you need to first become a consumer first and be a catalyst. be very, 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 very untiring and keep on, talking about it, keep on telling the people, what is happening in the market, how it can be useful to us, and keep on making them to believe. And you also practice that. Be a mad scientist. I call it, be a maniac. Today, those all those scientists with big dadi and white hair and all are like maniacs. They वो कीड़ा बन जाते हैं, अंदर घुस के they keep on taking it out. Today, it is expected from a business leader like you, and create new meanings, whatever value you provide, and see how it can be. It can add value personally, it can add value organizationally, also society. So if you can create value on your service, considering all the three, no one can stop you. Okay, this I would skip this. Okay, now once oil was a new currency, then data was a new currency. Recently, crypto was a new currency. Today, speed and agility is a new currency. It is no more survival of the fittest. It is survival of the quickest. If you remember, 25 years back, Bill Gates wrote a book called Business at the Rate of Speed of Thought. Probably, he's a visionary. He understood, the quickest only will win. So 25 years back, he wrote the book, there in that he mentioned, it is no more survival of the fittest, it is survival of the quickest. So I think we are realizing only now after 25 years. So innovation is not about the technology itself, it is about the new business models that leverage the technology. What business model you should adopt, which you can embrace the new technology and use the technology for your leverage. So it is about finding a problem and creating an approach that changes the way the problem is solved today. And it's all where, today is 15th October, whatever I have explained, all happened before February 2020. Just one more slide, we'll close it. And disrupting the disruptors. If you remember, these are all the people who disrupted big markets. Uber killed most of the local travel agents. Okay, Airbnb, Oyo killed a lot of travel agents who were booking hotels. Alibaba.com, Swiggy. But COVID killed all this five. What disruption happened? COVID 2019, COVID. That killed all of this. So many industries have got affected by COVID. Tourism and aviation. Tourism is still not started. Auto means automotive industry, real estate, hospitality, traditional education. People are still not going to schools. Shipping, logistics, jobs, retail, luxury, supply chain, oil and gas, insurance, sports, communication and media, malls, fintech, events. In this entire disruption, there's only one community which quickly adopted the technology and still making money. Is basically we consultants and trainers. Okay, and people, I know a company in Chennai. They were into gearboxes and they were into motors and all. So they were supplying to almost it's a 100+ crores company. They were supplying into some 200 companies all over India. But suddenly this COVID happened. Every company stopped. Even when they restarted, the quantity what they asked was not even 20% of it. But that company very quickly diversified. They started making sanitizers, they started making masks, they started making aprons. All PPEs they got into, they only sourced it. But the customers are same 200 companies need all of this. So now they have a new business vertical now that they are doing about 7-8 crores a month only in this PPE business now. So an engineering company getting into this, you need to have that kind of mindset. Okay, this is a disruption now, and this is what is required, and I have a customer network. They immediately changed and got it. So now their regular business also started, and if you see in COVID time, they are almost double their turnover. Around 10 crores, 16 crores a month, they are doing it. So it depends on how you are going to disrupt the disruption. So it is BC is before COVID. Don't misunderstand this. Before COVID and after COVID. And this is how the whole world is. People now don't shake hands, they shake only legs now. Expect the unexpected, new normal. Like I am sitting in Karnataka and giving you lecture today. So you have to decide who lead digital transformation in your company, CEO, CTO, or COVID-19. Now today, most of the cases is because of COVID-19, but better before some other COVID happens, you start driving it. Don't keep thinking, act fast. That's it from me. Thank you.